like to show you something here. I have 2 buckets of compost right here. This one is a commercial compost, and it is from a composter here in the Front Range, Colorado area that claims to be a biologically complete compost. They're a rather big composter and they're pretty popular. But take a look at this and look how dusty and dirty that is. And you can see this up close right there. And the smell, very, very manure-y. I know they use a lot of manure in this. It does have some wood chips and stuff in here, but the name of this particular line of compost suggests that it's biologically complete. But after doing a test on it, and you can really kind of tell by looking at it and the way the dust is and stuff like that, there isn't much in here. And it was very bacterially dominated. Now this one here is mine. And let me see if I can hold that up to you a little bit more there. It's rich, dark, it's crumbly, and it just has that extraordinarily sweet smell. I had somebody here the other day that said it smelled like earthworms. And oh, speaking of, there's an earthworm right there. Both of these are called compost. So what's the difference? And what does it matter to your soil? Let's take a look. Compost is organic material that has been broken down and stabilized through biological activity. It's not raw, it's processed by microbes. Unlike raw manure, compost is much more stable. Nutrients are tied up in the organic and biological forms and are released more gradually. Good compost doesn't just bring nutrients, it brings biology. It brings the bacteria, the fungi, protozoa, and beneficial nematodes, and they're all working together. And what this looks like in the soil is actually pretty incredible. On day 1, right after the application, you've got compost sitting on top of the soil. At this point, they are still separated. On day 7, within a few days, biology starts to respond. Earthworms and other organisms begin moving toward that organic material. After 2 weeks, now fungal networks begin to expand, moving out of the compost and into the soil, creating the first pathways for nutrient movement. By about 30 days, the compost and soil are no longer separate. The biology has reconnected the system. You didn't fix the soil, you restarted its biology. This is what compost is really doing. It's not just adding nutrients, it's rebuilding the biological system. When compost is applied, it feeds the soil food web. That biology then cycles nutrients, making them available to the plant when needed. Compost works best when combined with living roots. Roots provide the energy, compost provides the biology, and together they build a functioning system. Compost isn't just an input, it's a way to build a more stable, resilient soil system over time. The difference we saw at the beginning between those 2 compost piles, that's really the difference between materials that still need to be processed and materials that are already biologically stable. When compost is truly finished, and let me tell you that one from the commercial composter was still steaming when we got it, so it was truly not finished. But when it is finished, it just doesn't overwhelm the system, it supports it. It brings biology, it improves structure, and helps build a soil that works with the plant and not against it. I'd like to take another look at this soil succession chart. And if you haven't seen this, we went over soil succession in the first video entitled Soil Succession. But if we apply a compost like the one I showed you earlier, the bacterially dominated one, to a stage 1 soil here to try to move it up, we're not going to move it up. We're going to stay right there. If we apply it to a stage 2, if we're already at stage 2 and we put that bacterially dominated compost, it's actually going to set us back some. And furthermore, if we go to stage 3 and we put a bacterially dominated compost on, we're actually going to probably do some harm to some of the plants. These plants are on an ammonium type diet, and that bacterially dominated compost is full of nitrates. So we need to really watch out what we're putting down. We need to know what we're putting down. And the only way really you can only do that is to look at it under a microscope. And we're going to talk about that in some future videos, or have a certified lab take a look at it and give you a report of what's in your soil and what's in your compost. So like I say, feed the biology, and the biology feeds the plant. Next video, we're going to take a look at something that has a major impact on soil biology, and that's tillage and what it does to our fungal networks. If we're going to build biology, we need to also know what's going to break it down. See you next video.